Paul Couchman, Surrey County Branch. This is a motion that came last year, it was passed almost overwhelmingly last year. We said it at the conference last year, unfortunately it didn't get through the Standing Orders Committee. It has been tinkered with, it now should get through the Standing Orders Committee, and it is something that is very important that we I think we pass, and hopefully we'll go to conference. There were many reasons why Labour didn't win the general election. But one key issue will have been Labour councils carrying out Tory cuts. We are now in the local council budget season, when cuts are being planned and UNISON branches are getting ready to campaign against the cuts and defend members' jobs and the services they provide. Even in this region, we will end up lobbying, petitioning and taking action in Southampton, Reading and other areas against Labour councils carrying out cuts. What is the alternative? Council budgets account for a quarter of all public spending. Their decisions impact on every area of public life. Adults and children's social care, housing, recycling, waste collection, education, children's centres, local welfare schemes, public health spending, funding for women's refuges, libraries, youth centres, public transport, museums, parks, leisure facilities, highways, maintenance, street lighting, pest control, trading standards, fire services and more. The relationship with other public services like the NHS, with delayed discharges, lack of beds, linked to the underfunding of social care. The main reason for this motion is to open this debate in this union on what councils and councillors can do. It's often stated that Labour councils must set a balanced budget, but there's no choice in this. It's one of the reasons why it's been proven impossible to get this on the floor of conference, the legal jeopardy argument. Unfortunately, this argument has also been used by councils to justify the continued implementation of austerity. As I say, we've tweaked the wording this year to try to answer those criticisms. Let me be crystal clear. This motion does not advocate councils not setting a budget, a mistaken strategy attempted in the 1980s by several councils. But it's also true that councils must set a balanced budget. If the books don't balance, then you can't send council tax bills out, etc., and council officers can't spend money. The issue here is, what is a balanced budget? The council can balance its budget by using reserves and by borrowing, both of which are entirely legal. A confrontation with the government will still come at some point, but this would be an enormously important front for the fight against austerity. The more than 125 Labour councils in the UK have combined budgets of around £80 billion. If they were a country, the Labour council land would have a combined spending power greater than the gross domestic product of 9 EU countries and the national state budgets of 16. They have usable reserves of £16 billion. The potential is there for a bulwark against austerity. Councils are legally able to set no-cuts budgets using their reserves and borrowing, as long as the books balance and borrowing is only used to generate revenue, not to pay directly for services. Clearly, there are obstacles in the way of this strategy, but it does provide a potential strategy to defend public services, protect our members, and to build a campaign against austerity. All council budgets have to be scrutinised by the senior finance officer at the council. They make a legal Section 26 notice as to whether the budget is viable in their opinion. In those instances, where rebel councillors have put forward no cuts budgets on this issue, the finance officer advised them that they shouldn't be doing that. They've advised them. My advice would be, you don't have to take that advice. You can go ahead and support your councillors. This is an idea that's taking on form. Joe Anderson, the Mayor of Liverpool City Council, literally this week said, I will refuse to make any further cuts to our budget, because we are now at the stage where doing so will mean closing down vital services that people rely on. We have worked hard under enormous pressure to keep our libraries and children's centres open, because they affect the life chances of people in Liverpool. These new cuts would mean losing those services. I will say this now. I will not close any libraries or children's centres in this city. I will not set a budget that cuts any of these vital services. If the government wants to impose this, they will have to come here and try to do it themselves. But they will have a hell of a fight on their hands. Reminiscences of Liverpool in the 80s, who did stand up before the government on 1 or 2 occasions. This is what we need. We can't go on another 5 years without Labour councils making a stand against austerity. So I'm asking you, please support this motion and let's go to conference. Thank you very much.